don't mean to brag myself, but I strongly believe that I have some considerable amount of wisdom or gyan which I have gathered over my years. I'm 43 years old. So based on my knowledge and based on my book reading, and one more thing, I have been through some severe pain in my life. There were two phases in my life which where I went through severe pain, excruciating pain. Of course, I did not attempt any suicide, but I suffered severe suicidal thoughts. There were occasions where I woke up and prayed God just to give me strength to survive for one more day. I mean, that much of mental trauma I went through a particular
Wow.
phase of my life. So, and this phase of my life, it taught me a lot. It taught me some good lessons. And when I see some people in the, SAG family or life school where they say, that they have been going through some bad times, I thought maybe I should share some of the knowledge or some of the wisdom which I have garnered over the years. I know I'm not, very wise or anything like that, but whatever little knowledge, जो भी मुझे
Wow.
छोटा मोटा ज्ञान मुझे है, I thought I should share with everybody so that it may help others. Because if others realize that whatever depression or whatever low point of their life they are going through, that low points almost everybody suffers in their life. When others realize that everybody goes through some low points in their life, it is a kind of encouragement. And when they realize that I can bounce back, they can think that they also can bounce back. And I can strongly say that I have bounced back in my life. I have been through some
Wow.
financial lows. I have been through some mental lows in my life. From actually, there was a phase where I was a reasonably upper middle class, affluent guy, but something happened in my life, and I became almost a lower middle class guy. I had to compromise on everything, on my accommodation, my schooling, my children's schooling, my lifestyle, everything. I had to compromise. Almost for 2 years, I went through a very financially tight situation. But again, but one thing is, I can say that I did not give up on my life. I fought back, and I can proudly say that I have bounced back. And again, I have what you call recovered my original lifestyle, or even maybe better than that.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So,
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. This is really awesome. And you know, the
so I
the
thought
best part
maybe
is
there is something.
the best part is all the people that I connect with or I interview. So I've started a power talk show on Instagram Live also, where I interview coaches, healers, and therapists, which happens on Thursdays, 8 p.m. India time. Uh, so what has happened is, and I write extensively. I'm a journaling coach. I teach power journaling, and whoever needs my support, and whoever, particularly the ones who are in congruence with my life story, I attract those kind of people towards interactions with me, and they are the ones who connect the most. Now you're talking to someone who attempted suicide and who survived it. Okay, so I attempted at the age of 26, I must be. And I was in the hospital and I had taken extreme overdose of antidepressants. And I wanted to not live, but I think God always has better plans for us. God
Mhm.
wants us to survive. So, and I realized that I am not alone. There are so many people around us, and after COVID, I think it people just need to express and come out. And and I realized painfully after my father's death that listening to people's stories, getting inspired by that, and knowing that this is God's work has been the only transformation that I needed through all of the life experiences that I've had. I'm 41, by the way. And then I have also realized that a lot of people who can get connected with me are around my age. They are the ones who've been having similar struggles in life and they've come out of it. So, Vamsi, I am really happy to have met you. I am really happy that you messaged and you said that I would like to talk to you, because it's people like you who give me the confidence that we are on a right path. All of us who have the courage to go ahead are on the right path.
Last time is I like reading books. Once upon a time,
Wonderful.
maybe during my college days and all, I used to watch movies. I used to see TV, and I was a
Mm,
good sportsman during my college days. I was into cricket, badminton, table tennis. I used to play tennis, so I was a good sports guy during
mm,
my college days. And my MTech in IIT Madras, I got the best outgoing sports person award. So So, well, I was into a lot of sports, but once I got into my profession, naturally my sports life it came down. But I do
Okay.
like to keep myself physically active, regularly going to gym,
Okay.
jogging sometimes, some yoga asanas. Well, I prefer to keep
Wonderful.
myself hale and healthy.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Wow. So what made you want to talk to me or do this interview? I mean, there must have been something, no? You must have felt, okay, let me also talk to Gauravi. You read Ruchi's post and I think you responded to that, right?
Yes, yes. Well, first of all, I don't know how to say this without sounding arrogant. I don't mean to brag myself,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I strongly believe that I have some considerable amount of wisdom or gyan which I have gathered over my years. I'm 43 years old. So, based on my
Mm-hmm.
knowledge and based on my book reading,
Mm-hmm.
and one more thing, I have been through some severe pain in my life. There were two phases in my
Mm-hmm.
life which where I went through severe pain, excruciating pain. Of course, I
Mm-hmm.
did not attempt any suicide, but I suffered severe suicidal thoughts. There were occasions where
Mm-hmm.
I woke up and prayed God just to give me strength to survive for one more day. I mean, that much of
Mm-hmm.
mental trauma I went through a particular
Wow.
phase of my life. So,
Mm-hmm.
and this phase of my life, it taught me a lot. It taught me some good
Mm-hmm.
lessons. And when I see some people in the, SAG family or life school where they say that they have been going through some bad times, I thought maybe I should share some of the knowledge or some of the wisdom which I have garnered over the years. I know I'm not, very wise or anything like that, but whatever little knowledge, जो भी मुझे छोटा
Wow.
छोटा मोटा ज्ञान मुझे है, I thought I should share with everybody so that it may help others. Because if others realize that whatever depression or whatever low point of their life they are going through,
Mm.
that low points almost everybody suffers in their life. When others realize that
Mm.
everybody goes through some low points in their life, it is a kind of
Mhm.
encouragement. And when they realize
Mhm.
that I can bounce back, they can think that they also can bounce back. And I can strongly say
Mm.
that I have bounced back in my life. I have been through some
Wow.
financial lows. I have been through some mental lows in my life. From actually, there was a phase where I was a reasonably upper middle class, affluent guy. But something happened in my
Mm.
life, and I became
Mm.
almost a lower middle class guy. I had
Mhm.
to compromise on everything, on my accommodation, my schooling, my
Mm.
children's schooling, my lifestyle, everything. I had to compromise almost for 2 years. I went through a very financially
Mhm.
tight situation. But again,
Mhm.
but one thing is, I can say that I did not give up on my life. I fought
Mhm.
back, and I can proudly say that I have bounced back. And well, again, I
Mhm.
have what you call recovered my original lifestyle, or even maybe better than that.
Mhm. Wow.
So,
Wow.
Swami
Wow.
Vivekananda's Call to the Nation was very inspiring to me, and that was the first
Mm.
book which kind of inspired me to bounce back in
Mm.
life.
Mhm.
Okay, so and slowly, steadily. I mean, I won't say that once I read that book, I was
Uh,
totally free of that pain, free of the trauma, but slowly,
uh,
steadily, that wound started healing. And
mm.
moreover, I started coming to terms with the fact that such things indeed happen
Mm.
in life. ठीक है, जिंदगी में कोई आई है, गई है. I should accept
Mm.
it as a part of my life, and
Mm.
I have to start moving forward. Okay, maybe she was not the one for me. Maybe there is
Mm.
somebody else for me. Okay,
Wow.
I took a slightly
Wow.
philosophical approach also. Okay, God made me, so God must have made a soulmate for me. मेरे लिए किसी को बनाया होगा. So I took a slightly
Wow.
philosophical approach and I moved on with my life.
And
Okay,
all this
and
at 24, 25 years at that
yes,
age?
I was 23. Actually, when I got dumped, I was 23. And
Mm.
by the time I recovered, I must say I would have been approximately some 26 or so. Because that pain, it
Okay.
took almost 3 years. But slowly, steadily, I recovered and I moved on with my life. I concentrated on my job. I bounced back. I concentrated with my job. And I started working in some good companies. I worked for Ashok Leyland. I worked for Caterpillar. And it was
Mm.
during my tenure in Caterpillar that I got married.
Mm.
That was in 2011, and I got married at the age of 31. My marriage also slightly got
Okay.
delayed because of some, well, again, destiny or whatever you call it. It was I
Mm-hmm.
got married at the age of 31, and life seems to be normal. After
Mm-hmm.
Caterpillar, I got a job in Mysore. It was a wonderful city. It was a small city, very
Mm.
lovely city, lovely climate, and lot of tourist places nearby. And 4 years in Mysore, I had a great time. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, I went to one more company, which I prefer not to name because in case you share it with somebody, that it may become a unnecessary controversy. So I'll just give some
Sure,
details.
sure.
After 4 years in Mysore, I shifted to one more company, where for some reason, again, this time again, one more woman came into my life. I won't say she came into my life, but for some reason, she had a very negative opinion on me. She was hell bent on destroying me. She filed false
Okay.
complaints on me that I was sexually harassing her. Uh,
Okay.
she totally tarnished my image. By the time I was already married, I have two sons.
Okay.
And for some reason, even today, I don't know. Actually, after I left that company, some old friends called me and said that she had a problem with me because I was one of the dominant member of the team. I was one of the dominant member of the team, and that girl wanted to be a dominant member of the team. So she was hell bent on destroying me. So she filed false sexual harassment complaints on me. She I never even looked at her. I had no interest on her, but she filed a false a fabricated case for me that I always keep staring at her. I always keep talking in a very lewd manner. I always keep talking to her in a very
Okay.
vulgar manner. This kind of false complaint she fabricated and filed a complaint against HR. And I, even though
Mm.
I tried my level best to convince the HR that I never did anything, never did anything, the HR did not listen. And I'm sure you know that
Mhm.
companies HR, they usually take the side of women.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it is company or in general society. In general society, whenever there is a friction between man and woman, everybody supports women. And that
Mm.
girl, I think she took advantage of it, and she did not rest till I got fired. Actually, even after filing a complaint, she went to HR and said that you are not taking any action against him. I don't feel safe in this company. She projected me as I'm some kind of a rapist, or I'm some kind of a sexual harasser or anything like that. She projected me in a very
Mhm.
ugly manner to HR. And at that time, I was a very high paid salaried guy. I was living a
Mm.
comfortable upper middle class life, a very comfortable upper middle class life.
Mhm.
So because of the false complaint, I lost my job. I
Mm.
lost my job, and I was unemployed for almost 6 months. And after 6 months, I got a job in a very
Mm.
small company with a very meager paying salary. And
Mm.
just now I told I went to a very typical financial crunch, and
Mhm.
that happened. From a
Mm.
comfortable upper middle class life, I came down to a small. In those days, I used to live in one of the best societies in the city. It was a very
Mm.
beautiful society. Almost nine buildings were there in the society. It had a swimming pool, it had a gym, it had a badminton court. And I was living in
Mhm.
one of the posh societies. And from there,
Mhm.
because of the financial crunch, I had to shift to a very
Mhm.
lower middle class area of the city.
Mhm.
I was sending my kids to one of the best schools in the city, and from then I had to shift my children to a very ordinary school in the town. So this,
Mhm.
even though there was a genuine reason, I was very hurt that I went through so much pain without any fault of mine. For no fault of
Mm.
mine, I went through this pain. Just because I was one of the
Mhm.
dominant members of the team, just because I had
Higher
I had the
position.
potential to become the leader in the team, that girl
Yeah.
destroyed me.
Okay.
And she went to the extent of saying that if I am not fired from the company, she will write a letter to National Commission of Women, etc., etc. I mean, to that extremity she went. And even
Okay.
today, I don't know. I personally did not do anything, any harm to her. Just
Mhm.
for based on office politics, she did some such nonsense things. And I went through some real painful phase of my life. I mean, I was very
Okay.
disappointed. Till then, I was providing my family with all the good things, and suddenly, all the good things I was able to provide to my family. I mean, in those days, almost every week I used to take my children to some
Mhm.
Domino's Pizza, or some Pizza Hut or Burger King. I had a good lifestyle. Suddenly, the
Mhm.
whole lifestyle it went kaput. It went haywire.
Mm.
So suddenly it
Yeah.
became difficult to even go to a good restaurant even once in a month. To
Mhm.
such a financial crunch, I went back. I went through severe trauma again. But this time,
Mhm.
at least, I was slightly mature enough to handle the trauma. But the trauma was there.
Mhm.
The thing is, I was, as I said, now, the first trauma I went through, it taught me one thing, to read some good
Mhm.
books. Even during
Mm.
this bad time, it was some good books which helped me to
Helped
get
you.
through this.
Wow.
Again, almost after 2 years of severe financial crunch, again I got a good job. I got
Okay.
a good job, and barely 10 months later, this COVID came. And because of
Okay.
COVID, I again lost my job. Again, I became unemployed for another 8 months.
Okay.
So somehow, I went through some, real ups and downs in my life,
Mhm.
both career wise and financial wise. And it is only after that COVID started subsiding and again job market picked up that I got a good job. Then I got a good job in a company, Ford. Ford is again a good company. It was a well-paying company, and I could again bounce back to a reasonably financial good level. Well, again after I joined Ford, after 1.5 years after I joined Ford, I got a job in Germany, and here I am. So financially, I also have reasonably recovered, and especially this trauma which I went through because of this false complaint, I had to take psychiatrist help. I went to a psychiatrist. I was under medication for a long time. Because again, I
Okay.
went through every day. I used to suffer bouts of anger, bouts of hatred. ऐसा लग रहा था
Okay.
कि जो भी मुझे सामने आए, take a sword and chop them into pieces. So much of anger I
Okay.
used to
Okay.
anger with that girl, anger with myself that I had let my family down. There were occasions I took my anger on my kids, I took my anger on my wife. So it was a bloody hell for me. Almost from 1.5 years to 2 years, I went through a severe trauma. At least the first case when I went, I suffered it alone because I did not have family at that time. I was a bachelor. But this time I had a family. So many times my poor wife and my kids became victim of my negative emotions. Well, but as they say, na, sama badla, and some good times again started coming to my life. I took some medication. I started yoga. I regularly practiced pranayama and all, so I could control my emotions, and I could really bounce back in my life.
Wow.
So this is my life story. I don't know how much I could convey, how much I could articulate, but I must say that 2 times I have been through severe trauma, especially the second time. Even though I was
Yeah.
matured enough, I mean, when this happened, I was almost 36 years old, but still I went through severe traumatizing phase. I felt disgraced. It was as if किसी ने मेरे मुंह पे कीचड़ उछाला.
Yeah.
Because I have not done such kind of things even during my teenage.
Mhm.
Even during my teenage, even during my 20s, I have not done such kind of things with girls. I have always been a very decent and dignified guy. But
Mhm.
these kind of allegations, they tarnished my image, they disgraced me.
Mhm.
Again, I went through severe pain. I
Okay.
suffered severe suicidal thoughts. Of course, as I said, I never attempted suicide, but I
Mhm.
suffered severe suicidal thoughts.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe
Mhm.
if I did not have a family, I don't know if I
Mhm.
would have attempted. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
luckily, I went through one doctor, and one doctor directed me to one psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist somehow was able to diagnose my problem. He gave a good
Mhm.
medication, and with the help of the medication, I could bounce back.
Wonderful.
So,
Wonderful.
okay, so uh, well, I would say that this is my life story, but so I don't know how, as I said, how much I could
Uh-huh.
explain my life story in such a short time. I don't know, but I
Uh-huh.
can say that I have been through some severe pain. Severe means severe pain. Just
Uh-huh.
imagine living with severe tight headache for 1 year. I lived
Uh-huh.
with that constant tight headache almost for 1 year. I could not sleep properly. There were occasions I used to wake up morning 3 o'clock. I used to wake up by morning two
Uh-huh.
o'clock. There were occasions I used to, go to bed at night 10 o'clock until morning 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I used to toss in the bed because I was not able to sleep. So many
Okay.
sleepless nights I suffered.
Okay.
There were occasions I went to temples and prayed God, "Arey yaar, maine kya, what have I done to deserve this pain?"
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But well, the only thing is,
Uh-huh.
I was just patient. I just
Uh-huh.
kept a hope that one day this pain will come to an end,
Uh-huh.
and my hope
Okay.
proved right.
Wow. Wow. And you have a family, right? You do have someone who you know that
Yeah.
they're waiting for you, and they're there, present for you.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
sense of
Yes.
responsibility and
Yes.
that love also comes that it's not
Yes.
my life anymore. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I have two sons. Both my sons know me a lot. I know I have to be there. I know I have to be there for the education. And tomorrow when they grow up, I don't know what they will go through. I have to stand by them. Just my
Yes.
father stood by me during
Absolutely.
my bad times. So I
Absolutely.
knew that my life was important. Even though I went through so much pain, I knew it was important for me to stay alive.
Wow.
And my
Amazing.
book reading habit, that was one habit which stayed with me in good stead, even during my
Mhm.
toughest times. Actually, I
Okay.
can't emphasize what a pivotal role this book reading habit played in my role. Right
Yeah.
from Autobiography of Yogi. Have you ever heard of this book, Autobiography Yogi by
Yes.
Paramhamsa Yogananda?
Yes.
Right from
Yes.
that book to Arnold Schwarzenegger's autobiography, I read plenty of autobiographies. I read
Uh-huh.
various journeys. As I
Uh-huh.
said, Magic of Thinking Big,
Uh-huh.
the Seven Habits of Highly Effective
Favorite.
People. I read a
Uh-huh.
lot of books, and these books, the knowledge from these books, it has really
Uh-huh.
helped me a lot in bouncing back in life.
Wow. Absolutely.
And that's why I always
Because
encourage people to read books. To read books. Book reading habit is the best habit a human being can have.
absolutely, absolutely agree. I can't agree more on that front because I am someone who reads every day. So reading is one habit that will take you. Uh, it just skyrockets your progress right from at all levels, personal, professional, spiritual. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So, so if you had to say that these were the key lessons that I learned, what would you say? That what have these life experiences uh, taught you? If you could say top three lessons, so what would those be?
Well, first of all, first and foremost lesson is you are responsible for your life.
Uh-huh.
You may have your family, you may have your kids, but
Uh-huh.
all said and the one bitter hardest truth is you are very alone in this world. You have to
Uh-huh.
take responsibility for your life.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I can play the blame game all my life. I can blame somebody, I can blame anybody. But also and then somewhere, knowingly or unknowingly, I must have done something to deserve whatever I went through. Knowingly or
Uh-huh.
unknowingly. So I am
Okay.
responsible for my life. This is one of the most important lessons in my life. And once
Okay.
I decided I am the in charge of my life, I am the boss
Uh-huh.
of my life, I am the master of my life. And
Uh-huh.
really, there was a drastic improvement in my life. There has been a drastic improvement in my life once I decided that I am going to be in charge of my life. So this is one
Absolutely.
key lesson I have learned. And second very important lesson I have learned is phases in life, they come and go. You just have to be patient. You have to be patient. Okay,
Uh,
every phase, both good phase and bad phase, they come and
uh-huh.
go. You cannot allow yourself to be very elated or very happy during good times and be very depressed during bad times. You have to maintain a certain level of equanimity. You have to maintain a certain level of composure. That is extremely important, because
Uh-huh.
getting carried away by good times and falling crestfallen during bad times, that's not the thing. You have to stay stable. You need to
Okay.
have a good
Wow.
stable mind to be a winner in life. That's one more lesson I learned. And
Wow.
third but last important lesson is self discipline. Self discipline is a very key contributor when it comes to success in life.
Uh-huh.
Self discipline, regular exercise, maintaining routine in your life, waking up, morning 20 minutes of yoga, then again some
Uh-huh.
1 hour of physical exercise. uh,
Uh-huh.
and I have this
Yeah.
good habit. Every night before going to bed, I write what all activities I need to do next day, including my
Okay.
shaving, including my mustache trimming. So
Uh-huh.
I clearly write down next morning prayer,
Uh-huh.
20 minutes of
Uh-huh.
prayer, 1 hour of gym, next shaving, next bathing, next breakfast. So I
Uh-huh.
clearly write down what are the activities I need to do the next day. And this is also one habit which has always helped me
Uh-huh.
to be a good time manager. And
Wow.
another important lesson in my life is time is indeed money. Time is indeed money. The better you utilize time, the more wealthy and more affluent you can be in life.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
so good discipline gives you good health. Good discipline gives you good self-respect. It increases your self-esteem. It gives health. Health indeed wealth. Because whatever good knowledge you have, if you're not a healthy person, you cannot do anything in life. For example,
Uh-huh.
I went through a severe ill health, mental ill health. I went through. During that time, I
Uh-huh.
could not do anything.
Uh-huh.
Maybe physically I was healthy. Physically I was
Uh-huh.
healthy, but mentally I was ill.
Uh-huh.
During that time, nothing went proper for me. Even my relationships, my wife, my kids, my mother, my sister, every
Uh-huh.
relation went through a bad phase because of my mental illness. It is only
Uh-huh.
when I could cure that mental illness and I could again come back to physical and mental normalcy, that life started blooming. So health, both physical and also mental, is wealth. This is also
Yes,
very
agree.
lesson I have learned in my life.
Yes, wonderful. Wow. I have made notes, and because this recording is there, I can always go back to it. This is really awesome. This is absolutely awesome. Such amazing takeaways. You are responsible for your life. Blame never helps anyone. I am in charge of my life. Failures come and go. We need to have patience and be stable in life. Uh, Self discipline, the routines that you follow in your life is the key to your growth. Then you write your to-do list before going to sleep every day. Mental health and physical health both are the key to your true wealth in life. Awesome, awesome, amazing, amazing. So, being a journaling coach, this is one question I have. Do you journal? Do you write in a journal or write in a diary or anything? Apart from
No,
the
I
to-do
had that
list, do
habit
you
once
write
upon a time, but
anything?
I don't write in a diary or anything. I don't have the habit of writing in a diary, but I regularly introspect myself. I regularly do introspect myself.
Mhm. Yeah, because someone who's a avid reader can be a very fluent writer easily because these both powerful
And just
habits
for
are.
information, I am an author. One of my books is already published in Amazon.
Wow, wow. So
The
you're
book's
also
name
a
is
published
Bible,
author.
Bhagavad Gita, and Billionaires.
Wow, you're
It's
also
already
a published.
available in Amazon.
Bible, Bhagavad
Bhagavad
Gita,
Gita
and
and Billionaires.
billionaires. Awesome. So what is the book about? Tell us about it.
Well, I can say the book has two parts basically. The first and foremost thing, the preachings of Jesus in Bible and preachings of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, they always emphasize you to be rich and affluent. They never ask you to be poor or impoverished or anything like. The both of them, they actually encouraged us to live a very comfortable life. And second thing is, most of the billionaires, right from Bill Gates to Amitabh Bachchan to Narayan Murthy, their actions, their
Mhm.
actions and what they did in life are very much in line with what Jesus and Krishna taught in Bible and Bhagavad Gita. Whether they knowingly
Wow.
implemented or unknowingly implemented, that's a different thing. But what all
Mhm.
they did in their life, what all the
Mhm.
characteristics, what are the qualities they emphasize, what are all
Mhm.
the important traits they radiated, they are perfectly in line with what Jesus and Krishna taught in Bible and Bhagavad Gita.
Wonderful. So you've done a comparison of it, or you've written
Yes,
examples and things like that.
yes. So many billionaires. I mean, some top sportsmen who are very rich, top industrialists, top politicians,
Mhm.
top film stars who are very extremely rich. They have taken some steps which are perfectly in line with the preachings of these books. I mean, that's
Wow.
my argument.
Wow. So the key to a good life is in your spirituality. The key to your goodness is all around you in the values that you follow
Yes,
and
yes.
in the
And
preachings
I'm a
of.
reasonably spiritual guy. I regularly do pranayama, and I have a reasonably good spiritual knowledge also. I read a lot of spiritual books. I'm a big devotee of Ramakrishna Paramhamsa. I read his preachings also regularly.
Mhm.
So yeah, spiritual books have definitely helped me a lot.
Wow.
Personal takeaway or my personal interpretation is maybe to impart this, or maybe God wanted to inject this book reading habit in me. That's why he put me through so much pain. At least that's how I
Mhm.
interpret it. Because
Yeah.
during this severe painful phase of my life, I read a lot of good books.
Mhm.
So somewhere I feel that maybe God or my fate or my own destiny wanted to direct me towards these good books or good wisdom. That's why
Mhm.
he made, God made me go through some painful phase in my life. I mean, that's how I interpret it. At least that's my
Awesome.
personal interpretation. I don't know whether it's right or
Awesome.
wrong, but that's how I take it.
Absolutely. The very fact that you are successful and you've come at a beautiful juncture in your life where you have the confidence to share your story without any fear or inhibition with the world means that whatever happened in your life, you have been able to let go and forgive, and you have grown and moved beyond it. And that's a
Yes.
huge inspiration for anyone. So maybe the next book that you write is on your life stories and what you learned from it, and how a man who goes through such incidences in his life can move past trauma using the, all the wonderful techniques that you have shared with us. And it's really my pleasure, because these are the same things that any coach teaches. If I were to teach my students, I would be teaching these exact same things.
I would like to share with you is, many people who go through these traumas, they become addicts to some bad habits. And at this point, I have to tell you that I used to be a smoker, I used to be a drinker. But when I came out of this traumas, I quit smoking and I quit drinking. Now it has been almost 18 years. I touched a cigarette or I touched alcohol. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Sense
So
of
I can proudly say that I have left these bad habits behind me. I could totally vanquish these bad habits from my system. When I went through cigarette
wow.
trauma, I used to smoke a lot, I used to drink a lot. But once I started reading the spiritual books, and once I started accepting life as it is, and once I started coming to terms with the life, I started less and less depending on these bad habits. And once
Mm.
I came out of this trauma, I left these habits also once for all. I kicked out these habits. Now I don't smoke, I don't drink. I did not touch a cigarette for almost 18 years now. I didn't touch alcohol for almost 7 years now. And that too, last time I touched alcohol, it was because of a social party, not because of any, Devadas kind of pain.
Wow. How many men are able to do that? So, if there are any men listening to this, I would really like you to put in the comments how many of you can easily leave addictions. It is so difficult. You ask men around, the first thing they say is the most difficult thing to do. And your biggest pull towards the kind of transformation that you have experienced is your own accountability and your own sense of responsibility, that you have installed those habits into your life, and you made sure that you continued on the path that was meant for you rather than deviating in different directions.
Imprint, we have to make our own unique footprint on this world. That desire is there in me also. And my biggest
Yeah.
motivation is to provide my kids a wonderful life, because I come from a very humble background. My parent was an ordinary government high school teacher. And all my life, it was a very hand to mouth life. My entire childhood was a very hand to mouth childhood.
Mm.
And well, of course, thanks to my education, now I am able to provide something better than what I as a child could experience. But I want to give something more to my children. I want to
Mm.
give them the best experience in life. I want to give them the best financial advantages, the best education advantages. That's a huge motivation for me. And I
Wonderful.
say this to all the married men. If at all you're looking for motivation,
Mm-hmm.
don't look anywhere else. Just look at your children. Your own
Mm-hmm.
children can be a huge motivation, because I
Absolutely.
personally want to give my sons a huge company. For example, when I started my career, I just started as a junior engineer, then as a senior engineer. I
Mm.
went up several steps, and by the time I retire, maybe I'll become vice president or something like that. But I want to start. I want my kids to start their careers in a managing director level. So I want to give my kids a company, and that's one huge motivation for me to start my own company. And I'm very positive that I'll
Great.
start my own company. If not tomorrow, if not after tomorrow, I will definitely start my own company. And I want my kids to directly join the company at a very managerial role, at a very senior role, instead of going through
Mm.
all the way steps that you have to go through if you join as an employee.
Okay.
And this
Wow.
this desire is a huge motivation for me. And I strongly tell this to all the married men. If you are looking for motivation, don't look
Uh,
here and there. Just look at your
yeah.
children, because love for your children can be the best motivator you can ever have.
Yeah.
At least for me, it worked. For me, it
Yes.
worked. So whatever
Absolutely.
drive I have, whatever the eagerness I have to achieve,
Uh-huh.
I do this for my children, because I want to provide the best to my children. I want my wife to wear the best clothes. I want her to wear the best ornaments, the best jewelry. And whatever I am doing,
Uh-huh.
this whole thing, I mean, the basis for all my motivation is definitely my family.
Mm. Mm.
And
And
especially after, once you get married, once you get kids, your perspectives, your paradigms, they drastically change.
absolutely, absolutely. I do whatever I do
Mm.
because I have my children looking at me. And the only question that I ever ask is, if I do something and if they have to imitate and do the same, would it be right for them? So if it is not, then I will also not do it. So that's my constant judge and parameter. And yet, having said that,
Yes, yes.
every soul has its own trajectory and they will walk their path no matter what I think and feel. uh, if I am a God's child, they are God's children too. And if God has a plan for me, and God has a plan for them also, and they will walk their path, no matter what I think and feel. So that's what I was going to ask you in the end. So where do you see yourself 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now?
Well, one thing I'm very clear about, I want to start my own company. Well, I came to Germany for both financial reasons and also for experiential reasons, because experience abroad, it adds a lot of value to resume. It adds huge value to resume. So once I go back to India, I may get a job at a very senior level, a very senior level. And once I am sure about my financials, I'm very positive that I'll start my own company, even if at the age of 50. And I'm very positive that if I keep myself hale and healthy, if I exercise regularly and I keep myself hale and healthy, I'm pretty sure that I can establish my own company. So
Wow.
yes, I definitely would like to see myself as an entrepreneur, a self-made, business.
Awesome, awesome. And you are already on
And
the path.
by the scene, yeah.
You are
Uh,
saying something.
yes, yes, yeah. In Bible, I think it is Isaiah something where God says that His plan for us is based on love. So whatever His plan for us is, the foundation of the plan is sheer love. So I strongly
Yes,
believe that. God has charted a plan for us based on love. So whatever
absolutely.
pain He gave us, there must have been a loving intention behind it. Maybe sometimes He put us
Absolutely.
through some tough times, but the intention behind it was definitely a very loving intention. Okay, and I
Lovely.
have seen the truth of it, because every pain I went through, I came out a better person. I came out a wiser person. I came out a bigger person.
Mm.
Okay, and I
Wow.
came out a cleaner person. For example, I got rid of my bad habits.
Yes.
And trust me, I used to smoke almost 20-25 cigarettes a day. But
Oh
once
my
I came
God.
out of that pain, yeah, I was a chain
Oh,
smoker. So once I came out of that
wow.
came out of that trauma, I quit the smoking. I just quit it for good. Now, even now
Wow.
today, for example, in Germany, smoking is very rampant. In
Uh-huh.
Germany, smoking is very rampant. Now today, I see many people smoking beside me, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
feel any urge. I don't feel any temptation.
Mm.
I
This
not only
is
got rid of that
really
habit, I
awesome.
got rid of even the root of that habit.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Mhm.
Really, wow. And I think this is such an inspiration. This talk has been such an inspiration, even for me, on so many fronts. Thank you so much for all the lovely things. Is there anything else that you would like to share also? Something that we've missed out?
Mm, well, I can only say one thing. I think I don't want to
Uh-huh.
reiterate it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just as a parent, encourage your kids to read books. Inculcate a book reading habit in your kids right from your childhood. And second
Mm-hmm.
thing is, inculcate the habit of playing sports in your kids, because
Yes.
sports also teach huge life lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Sports teach you discipline. Sports teach you
Mm.
focus. Sports teach you never say die habit. Who knows?
Absolutely.
Who knows? I mean, even though I got defeated in life certain times, I could back because I supports in my life, and there was already a kind of a fighter inside me. Because of my sporting background, I had that
Mm-hmm.
fighting spirit inside me, which helped me get through some of the bad phase of my life.
Wow.
I can proudly say this fighting spirit inside me came because of my sporting background. And I reiterate, I
Uh-huh.
was a good sportsman. I was a very good sportsman during my college days
Mm-hmm.
and school days also. So this sporting it definitely develops a kind of fighting spirit, and this
Mm-hmm.
fighting spirit is very important in life. So
Mm-hmm.
as a parent myself, I encourage two things with my children. First is book
Mm-hmm.
reading habit, and second is
Mm-hmm.
sports. Apart from,
Wonderful,
of
wonderful.
course, education, I put a lot of emphasis on education also. But along these
Uh-huh.
things, I encourage them to read good books and
Mm-hmm.
play sports regularly.
Awesome, awesome.
This is what I can say to all the parents.
Awesome, awesome. So it's been such a pleasure. We've spoken for over 1 hour. And thank you so much for your awesome time, for sharing your life story with us. Uh,
Thank you for having me.
I
I
will
thank you for
try
having
and